Hi, I'm Leilani.
And I'm Stephanie.
If you have clicked on this link, I'm sure you definitely have concerns about your child's picky eating and are seeking ways to help improve it. You are not alone. Many families experience issues with picky eating and are significantly impacted because of it. The problem with finding answers to help with picky eating is that everyone feels as if they're experts, and there are so many opinions about it. Every generation, every culture has their own ideas of how to deal with it, and each person has their own experiences as well.
Have people told you not to feed your child and eventually they'll eat, or maybe that you're being too lenient on them or even too strict? Or what we hear most often is they'll just grow out of it.
Let's face it, we've all probably tried at least one, if not a few, of these well-intended strategies of how to manage picky eating. But what I'm sure you've also discovered is that these tips usually only last a few meal times and then it was back to the same old routine of picky eating. Unfortunately, now it might even be slightly worse.
Well, what we want to teach you is a few things you can do at home so that you can be on the right path to eliminating all that picky eating.
One of the reasons it occurs is because a child's mouth is hypersensitive to anything that comes near it. Is brushing teeth a battle? Do they hate having their mouth messy? These are all symptoms of oral hypersensitivity.
To deal with this, we try using an oral warm-up exercise prior to meals. Try cheek massages or having them use an oral motor toothbrush or a vibrating toothbrush. This will help desensitize their mouth.
Picky eating also can occur due to poor learned mealtime behaviors. The child may throw food, spit it out, or even gag themselves, and parents respond by avoiding the food and not letting them have to eat it, or making them be done with meal times. This results in negative reinforcement for the child. He learns if he does a behavior such as spitting the food out, the food gets removed from his or her plate, and then he does not have to eat it again. Essentially, what the child wanted to happen does because they don't have to eat the food, and thus they keep doing it with every new food.
To combat this, you always want to keep meal times as positive as you can, especially when you're introducing a new food. This is done by ignoring the bad and bringing attention to the good. So take the pressure off of you and your child and reward them just for having the food on their plate. No expectations to eat the food. The goal is simply to have him or her okay with the food on their plate.
Another reason why picky eating occurs is because meal times aren't as structured as they used to be. In this day and age, children often have multiple activities to attend to, parents get home later than they once did, and routine meal times have fallen by the wayside. Therefore, children like to stick to what they're familiar with and what they know.
So what you can do, have a structured meal time. Yes, make meal times a priority for you and your family and make it be a routine. Similar to having a soccer practice every week at 5. Meal times always need to be eaten together as a family and at a certain time every day. Whether it is breakfast or dinner, do what works for you. Mealtime expectations need to be created, such as the amount of time the child will sit, where the child sits, and the least amount of food that the child is expected to eat prior to being able to leave the table. It's all about routine, which leads to multiple exposures to various different foods.
Hope these tips help get you on your way to a new path to addressing picky eating.
Thanks.
Thanks.